Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium, where we are going to have a look at pools and how I'm using it and some trays that are setting up. Okay, so we're just going to go through the pairs one at a time, and this is for shorter term trading, so we're not going to pay too much attention about much else besides what pools is telling us. Okay, so I'm going to be on kind of I want to see what's going on in the longer time frame. So for this I'm going to look at this chart. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart, and you can see the price move down into this area here. This is a weekly demand. Let's have a closer look. Yeah, you can see it's poking in there, and so if we look down to the smaller time frames, we can expect price to potentially wriggle off that. I'm not like keen at, like, you can see the price is moving lower. Okay, and so I mean, buying here would be counter trend. Okay, just keep that in mind. And so I mean, we do have this here, so this would obviously, I mean, this looks like an interesting place to buy, but would we want to buy there? Well, that's for you to decide. You could do that, but then you'd have to manage the trade a little bit more, but you could certainly get involved at that price level. Okay, so if we have a look at some other things, let's stay here for a second. Let's go to the 1-hour chart and see what we have. See, the robot seems to like that pretty well. Let's see if we have anything else on this price chart. Nope. So the robot likes that. What I don't like about it that much is the extended accumulation at this level. So what I would do, I might trade this, but what I would then do is that I would focus on moving it to the beginning of the slingshot, the buy zone. And so I'm going to use pools to do this for me. I'm going to say we want 3 times the size of supply and demand. I'm going to click it on. We'll let it open that trade, and then I'll adjust it once the limit order has been put in the market. Okay, there it is. So now I want to go to a smaller time frame, and I want to have a closer look at that little price nodule. So you can see that here we have a pullback. This low here, this is kind of telling us where the push originated from. So I'm just going to move this down to here, like that. Okay, and I think there's an okay chance that that's going to work, so I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, and move on to the next pair. Make sure the robot is turned off. Let me move this down so you can see the robot. Good, so here it is. I'm just going to turn that off until I'm ready. Matter of fact, I'm going to move it down to the bodies here. See that wick there? It's kind of at the close to where the edge of that wick is. Okay, and you could argue that this candle here left the area, and so the only place to buy would be at the low of this candle. I mean, you would not be wrong in saying that. Okay, so for this I'm going to have a look at the intra candles indicator, and I want to have a look what's going on. You can see that we have 4-hour push, another push, and a couple of small ones there. I mean, this to me, let me turn this on so I can see. Hey, see, it's really messy, isn't it? So what I would do in a situation like that is that I would move it down to here. Okay, because we have a push, we have accumulation, above, and then this candle went up here. So I would look at the low of this candle here, which is about there. So I'll leave that on. I'll leave that just like that. Okay, cool. Next pair, let's have a look. Make sure it's turned off. Go to the pound. What do we have here? Let's zoom out a little bit. Areas that look nice to us. This looks nice. This looks okay. So there are a couple of areas, and why this one and why this one? Well, notice that a price doing this, and that's kind of fiddling around. We had a big pushback to this level, okay, which is testing this here. So price has already been back to here, and price has already been back to here because of the wicks. The only areas that we have not fiddled with is this one and this one. Okay, so those are the two that are interesting. This one is interesting here because price from this area consumed this. So we had our little area here, which is not a pretty one, but we'll say it looks like that. Okay, where the push, price fed back into the area. What area took it out? This one did here. So I'll say, alright, Mr. Robot, do your thing. And so I'd say, Okay, we want to buy there, but notice that the robot wants to sell up here. But I don't want the robot to sell, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this trade on manually. I'm going to do this by going to another time frame. There we are, just like that. And then I'm going to say go for it. So it's going to flick that on, then I'm going to adjust it. Yeah, it likes that one, doesn't it? You know what? I'm not going to fiddle with that. We might not even get down here. But I do like the fact that this is, you see, we had a test, price tested, we moved just below it, and then we kind of popped up and then left. So this is kind of the origin. This is lower. And if we have a look at Fibonacci, I don't know if you guys are into Fibonacci, we'll just use those for a second. And this is beyond the 62. This is about the 62, which is good. So that's a pretty deep retracement. If we have a look on here, where are we? Excuse me. Well, we have a push, accumulation, price pulls back. Actually, what happened there is a little bit unclear. Yeah, I mean, price pulled back, and then we came up, pulled back, and then left. So you could argue that the low should be around here. Can you see why? I hope you can see why. Let me show why. Because here we have accumulation, and this one kind of moved higher. Okay, and the body of this candle is not within the range of this one or this one. So I would move this to the lows plus a little bit for the spread, just like that. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, and this is a really good one because this is where this daily period of trading really left from. So I like that. I'll leave that on. Right, turn the robot off. It's off. Go to the next one. Dollar Swiss franc. What's going on here? Well, there's nothing. There's nothing to buy from what we can see. Go here. Okay, this is interesting. I wouldn't buy here because we have all this going on. Okay, so notice again that pools is not a set and forget. It is a order utility that helps you open orders where the risk and everything like that is programmed into this. Give me 2 seconds, phone's ringing. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, so if we see here, you can see that the only interesting place is, well, we have something here. We had a really deep pullback on this candle here, which kind of moves to the base of this continuation pattern here. The reason I think this is interesting is because when price moved beyond here, we did manage to move through this area here, which essentially is a supply which removed this child demand. Okay, and so I mean this area is actually the one that's responsible for it. Price did respond to that as expected, and then it moved away from here. And so I mean this one hasn't really done anything because when price was here we just stopped at this area here. So I would certainly be looking to buy lower. Let's have a look on the shorter time frame and see. Yeah, there's nothing really in here. Like this is the one that took out this. It's been tested, and so I'd be looking lower. This one, this little area here, this kind of pullback, took out this one here. It was tested once. This one removed it, and this is still untested. So this might give us some intraday price action there. We'll see. Let's have a look what we have on a different one on the 4-hour chart. I like this because I like this as well down here because we had market structure which is gone, and this is kind of the origin. This is the accumulation that moved price away from this market structure fairly. Excuse me. And so I like this one. I think this is okay. We'll see. If we have a look at this one a little bit closer. Sorry, I got the blasted hiccups. You can see that this one is a little bit messy, so we're going to have to go to the small time frames and have a proper look and see if we like it. No, I look at it now and I say no thank you, because I mean I'd want to go lower, and I can see where I'd go, and it's just down here. This is where I'd be keen on looking. This is kind of the micro area at the edge. So price rallied, accumulator rallied, drifted higher, and then left. Sorry, bloody phone, once again, 1 second. Right, back we are. Yeah, so I like this little one here. There's nothing really here, but this is the push. So this would be a really nice area to have a stab at this. We'll see what happens. Okay. moving on. But you see this and you see nothing here on the 4-hour chart, but on the 50-minute it kind of jumps out at you. So we'll leave that and see what happens, because price will potentially, when you have a little pattern like that, price will potentially come down to this area and then like look for like advertising a better price and then push deeper and then do that. Because when you have a little price nodule like the one we saw here on the 50-minute chart below an area of apparent demand here, it'll often move through this, especially when it's so poorly formed like this, and find the origin, which is the one just below here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. Yes, we've got that in there. Let's have a look at the dollar CAD. Yeah, the dollar CAD, what are we doing? Oh, we're moving down. We have this continuation pattern here, but notice there's a bit of a mess here. There's nothing here. We have this here, which is interesting, which the software has marked up for us. We have this one, which I like. See, you see how prices come here, then it's come back up, and then down, then up. I don't like that much. And besides, this is the area that price originated from when market structure failed. The software shows this to us nicely. This is actually the robot that's drawing this, and this is the origin of that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to push this right up to the box. I want a good price. Okay, so I'm going to move this like that. Doesn't really matter. When they're filled, then I'll see how I manage them. But that's what we're looking at there for the time being. So if we have, as a matter of fact, before I do anything, I want to, you know what, never mind. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to stop fiddling around. Let's go to the Euro British Pound and have a look what's going on there. What's going on here? Price is moving lower. We don't have any demand until here. The robot just found it. I like this because price rallied, poked into it, slingshot was pulled back, and then it's going north. So I'm going to say, okay, Mr. Robot, do your thing. Turn it on like that. It's going to identify this. It's going to place the trade for us. There we are. So now we can go down to the 1-hour chart and have a closer look and see if that's actually an area that we like, and maybe if we want to adjust the entry. You can see, yeah, so we have price wriggling up and price poke down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move price to the low, beginning of the sell zone, the buy zone. Matter of fact, I'm going to move it here because I like this better, because we had this push, price popped up, sat sideways, and then went up. So this is just below here, so this is low in this area, and our stop is below this little area just down here as well, which I think is okay. We go into the 30-minute chart. You know what? Let's go to the 15-minute chart and see if we have enough, if we can see our entry at that level. Sorry, I hope you guys aren't needing to take motion sickness pills from looking at my charts. Okay, here, so yeah, I mean, looking at this, I would say, where's the slingshot? It's here. So I go, I'll move it like that, just like that. Okay, that looks a little bit more interesting to me. We'll do one more pair, and then I'm going to stop. We have this presentation starting here in about half an hour, and so people are starting to move into the room. So we have a look here on the daily chart. What's going on? Yeah, we're pretty low, so now we're moving up. We're challenging market structure, which is good, so we want to look to buy potentially. So you want to find an area that you would think would be pretty cool to buy it. So if let me delete this, see if the robot's, okay, the robot kind of found that, said, yeah, I want to buy here. I can see why it's doing this, but notice all these small candles here, so I'd be forced to go to the smaller time frame, have a closer look, and I can see, just a second. Okay, this song here by Brian Eno I'm listening to, called An Ending, absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend that you listen to it when you want a calm moment. It's absolutely gorgeous. So turn off the lights, close your eyes, and put this on a pair of headphones and ensure you won't be disturbed. It's very beautiful. Right, off on a tangent there. Right, so you can see all this ugliness here. I don't like any of this, so this is okay, but because of all this, price has already been around these areas, so I would do this. Where do we have a nice area? We have, oh, this is really delicious right there. So I'd probably move lower once more, and I'd move it here, just above this area here. If we zoom out a little bit more and have a look, and these are pretty lovely areas as well, and the software is finding these for us very accurately. So yeah, I'm not sure if price is going to move through these, but we'll see. I'll leave those in there, and we'll see what happens. Okay, maybe a little bit lower like that. Good. So we'll leave that. Cool. I'm going to finish this up. Presentation is starting shortly. People are moving in. But yeah, here are a couple levels to keep an eye out for. If you have any questions, put them in the on the chat server, and turn up that Brian Eno song. Thanks for watching.